All right, today we're doing the second half of 5.4, synthetic division. We're dividing polynomials, but this is a new technique that we're going to learn. About the same thing, yes. So first we have an example. It just describes step by step of what we're going to do, but we're going to practice it. So we're dividing the polynomial. The first thing we do for synthetic division is we take what we are dividing, which is what we're dividing by, so this x plus 5, and we're going to change the sign of this 5 to -5. And then we're just going to write the coefficients of everything we have on the inside. So the coefficients meaning the number in front of the x term, so we have 4, 23, and -16. So now we're going to drop this 4 down and write it on the bottom outside our box. And we're going to multiply the -5 times the 4. What do we get when we multiply -5 times 4? What do we get? -20. So we write that right there. And now we just combine the 23 and the -20. What's 23 minus 20? 3. And we multiply the -5 by the 3. And what do we get? -15. So we write that there. And then we just combine these two. So what's -16 minus 15? -31. So now our last number that we write here is our remainder. This one is going to be our constant, and this is going to be our x term. So our answer is going to be 4x plus 3 with a remainder of -31. So our answer is always going to have one less x term than what we started with. So since we started with x squared, our answer is going to start with just x. Ready for the next example? Okay, so we take what we're dividing into and we change the sign. So on the outside, we're going to have -2. On the inside of our box, we're just going to write our coefficient. So we have 2, 7, and 11. So 2, 7, and 11. First thing we need to do is drop our 2 down, and then we multiply the number out front by the number on the bottom. So we have -2 times 2, which is -4. Then we combine the 7 and -4, and we get 3. And again, we multiply the number out front by the number on the bottom, -6. And we combine the 2 in the box, and we get 11 minus 6, which is 5. So our last number here is our remainder. And then 3 is our constant, and 2 is going to be our x. So we have 2x plus 3 with a remainder of 5. Yeah. Okay, next example.
Why not multiply?
All right, so what's the first thing we're going to do here? Change the 4 to +4, and we write that on the outside. Now, just like how we were dividing before in our part 1, we need every single x term to have a number. So we have x cubed, and then we have x, but we're missing an x squared. So what number can we put in place for x squared? 0. So we're going to put a 1 for our x cubed, and then our x squared has a 0. And then we just fill in the rest. We have -13 and -12. Now we drop our 1 down and put it on the outside, and we multiply the number on the left, the numbers on the outside, so we have 4 times 1, which is 4. And then we add the numbers on the inside of the box, so we have 0 plus 4. 4. And then we multiply 4 times 4. 16. And we add the numbers on the inside of the box. So we have negative 13 plus 16. 3. What do we do next? We multiply 3 times 4, and we get? And now we add the last two together. What's negative 12 plus 12? 0. So here we have a remainder of 0. So we have no remainder. What's our 3 going to be? The constant. What about the 4? And the 1? So the 4 is our x, and then the 1 is the x squared. So we just have x squared plus 4x plus 3. And this is our answer. So here we started with x cubed, so our answer is going to start with x squared. It's going to start with 1 less than what our original problem was. Okay, what do we do first here? So what do we have on the outside? Negative 3. What are we going to put on the inside? 1, 5, 11, and 15. Perfect. Now what do we do? Bring down the 1. Then we multiply by the negative 3. So now we have 5 minus 3, which is? And now we, perfect, we multiply the negative 3 and the negative 2 and get negative 6. And then we add those two, so we get 11 minus 6, which is? And then we multiply again. So we have negative 3 times 5, which is? Negative 15. And then 15 minus 15 is? 0. So this last number is our remainder. What are we going to start with? What's this term going to be? X squared. So we have a 1x squared, which we can just write as x squared. And then what's the next one going to be? 2x. And then just 5, and we have no remainder. So this is our answer. What do we do first? Change the sign of what? We change negative 2 to a positive 2. We put that on the outside. And what's going to go inside? 1, negative 1, because we have this negative, negative 4, and 4. So we're going to drop down our 1 and multiply 1 by 2. Dom, what do we do next?
You do the 4 and then the times 2. No.
Remember, we add what's on the inside of the box and multiply outside. So we have negative 1 plus 2, which is 1. So now we multiply 2 times 1, and we get? And now we add the -4 and the 2. -2, and then we multiply 2 times -2, -4, and then 4 minus 4, 0. So this 0 is our remainder. And then what term are we going to start with here? X squared. What comes next? Plus x, and then what's last? Minus 2. So our answer is going to start with 1 less than what our original equation started with. 1 less x term. Alright, Don, what are we going to do first?
You got -1.
What do we do to the -1? Make it positive. So we have a positive 1 on the outside. What numbers are we going to put on the inside?
1, 3, 1, 2.
Remember, this is a -1. And then 2. Perfect. Regulato, what do we do next? Bring down the 1. And now? Perfect. Okay, so what's our answer going to be? X squared plus 4x plus 3 with the remainder of 5. Awesome. Good job, guys. Okay, any questions on this?